What's up, trainers? Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be going over items. So we'll dive into a little bit of the most commonly used items for competitive Pokemon, as well as some that can be used for breeding. Stick around and you'll find out how to level up your game. So let's start with Choice Band. Choice Band, what is it? How can it help you? Choice Band boosts the attack at the cost of locking your Pokemon down to one move. That is, of course, unless the item gets knocked off, then you can use the rest of your moveset, or you have to swap your Pokemon out. The boost is worth it. You get about a 50% increase in attack, but again, only one move. So it is a huge price to pay for that extra oomph when attacking with a physical attacker. Something you want to stick this on would be something like a Tyranitar. Something that is a physical attacker, meaning its attack stat is, one of its best qualities. So on the opposite end, we do have Choice Specs. Now, it comes with the same price, but this time you're boosting special attack. What would you stick this on? Something like a Sylveon with Pixelate for the ability and the move Hyper Voice. You're going to do some damage, I'll promise you. This is where you really got to tailor what item you put with what Pokemon. You don't want to stick something like Choice Specs on a Tyranitar, much less something like Garchomp or anything like that. Something that's a physical attacker, you want to just center its strategy around that. Even if they're not your main sweeper, you still want to give them a proper item that's going to help you win a battle. Now, when you're playing competitive Pokemon, you can't bring the same item. So what's something else that can boost both attack and special attack? That'd be Life Orb. The price for this is a little more, how can I put this? Pricey? This takes away a chunk of your health each time you attack. So say you get paralyzed and you don't attack, you won't take that damage from it, but that still leaves you vulnerable to the opponent's attack. But when you're attacking, it boosts, I think, 30% of your attack or special attack, but at the cost of some of your health each time you attack. You really got to consider what you put this on. There are abilities that let you use this item without taking the damage, like Sheer Force. So you'd want to stick this on something like a Nidoking, for example, with the ability Sheer Force. Then it wouldn't take damage, but would still get the boost to both its attack and special attack. But not too many Pokemon have Sheer Force. They're very limited. So keep that in mind. While attacking's all nice and good, sometimes you need a Pokemon to last just a little bit longer. That's when you take a look at leftovers. What are leftovers? Leftovers is the item that helps you recover a little bit of health at the end of each turn. Why would you need this? So, if you're in a battle and you have a glass cannon in front of you, while you may be able to take it out in one shot, it's not a guarantee. So what do? You stall them out a little bit and you just chip away at them. Maybe you don't get that one-hit KO. What do you do then? If you can't take a hit, then you're going to go down. So you'd want to slap this on something like a Snorlax, Celesteela, something bulky with a high HP stat that's just going to stay in and wear your opponent down over time. It's just a different type of strategy. It doesn't make it better or worse than just, attacking, but it does help to have a good balance to your team. One of the last battle items that we're going to be taking a look at is berries. What are berries? Berries come in all shapes and sizes with different effects, whether it be healing, boosting stats, or even curing statuses, having damage. Look at Oka Berry, for example. Halves damage taken from a super effective fire type move. When would you use that? Say, your opponent's bringing a fire type Pokemon and you have a steel Pokemon out. What happens if you have this berry attached to that steel type Pokemon? Instead of taking that 2x damage, now you're going to be taking just normal damage. So your odds of surviving are a lot higher. Of course, there's always critical hits and other factors. For the most part, you're probably going to survive. And of course, there's the citrus berry. When would you use that? Say, for example, you're running a belly drum set. What happens when you hit that belly drum button? Your HP instantly goes down to about half. So This gives you a little bit of health back once you hit that, which takes you out of the yellow. You don't want to be sitting in yellow, much less red. You know, people who do hit the red by pushing that belly drum button at the last second, or say they get hit first, that's a risky move. But this will give you some HP back, putting you back in the game. You don't necessarily put something like a Lepa Berry to a competitive match or even just a standard match. It's not something you use, maybe through a normal playthrough, but not in just a match. Now, that's not all the battle items. I just wanted to go over some commonly used ones and talk a little bit about breeding and how items can help you with that. For example, like this Everstone. What is the Everstone? It prevents the holder from evolving. There was a trick people used to play on each other early on in the Pokemon series. They'd slap an Everstone on like a Haunter, for example, and what would happen was they would trade it, and the receiving end would think they were going to get a Gengar. Guess what? They wouldn't. This would prevent that Pokemon from evolving. So how can something that stops Pokemon from evolving help you breed? Its secondary effect helps control what nature you get. So the way it works is you would slap this on one of the parent Pokemon. The egg has a 50% chance to have the same nature as the parent Pokemon holding this item. What does that mean? So if you take a look at your Pokemon that you have in your party, they all have natures. We won't dive too much into it, but just know that they do affect stats. Certain natures boost a certain stat while lowering another. For example, if you're running like a physical attacker, you'll want something like an adamant nature, something that helps boost the attack stat. Something that's commonly used with the Everstone is the Destiny Knot. What is it? So when you slap this on one of the parent Pokemon, it does guarantee 5 out of the 6 IVs when breeding. Those being HP, attack, special defense, and speed. You want to make sure your Pokemon has the right IVs when you're breeding, and this is all about a numbers game. That's why you'll see when people are breeding, they have boxes and boxes of eggs. Why? Because it's not guaranteed 6 IV. Doesn't matter if there's 6 IVs on a Pokemon versus 5. Not necessarily, as long as you have the right IVs for the build you're going for. And you'll want to have some patience. Now, if you do get stuck on any item or have any questions about what kind of item to stick on a particular Pokemon, feel free to comment down below. It's been fun, and I'll see you guys next time.